A lot of people are skeptical about Bethesda's new upcoming game Starfield, and why wouldn't they be? With the industry being what it is today and having major titles launching in the worst ways, people have a lot of reasons to be skeptical about the release of Starfield, especially with the amount of content it promises. Starfield, if you don't know, is Bethesda's first new IP in decades. With a gameplay showcase and discussion from Todd Howard, Starfield promises a vast amount of open world to explore with more than 100 systems and 1,000 planets. And that was confirmed by Bethesda. The game has a huge focus on exploration as well as a lot of customization options. Along with its first-person shooter combat, you can customize your weapons and spaceship. Some places will feature major cities bigger than anything we've seen in previous games. Starfield is Bethesda's and Todd Howard's new passion project and has been in the works for a while. Now let's talk about some pros and cons of the information we were given about this game. Everything on paper sounds good, as it's the type of game that many people have wanted over the years. We all love the idea of an open world universe space sim, and we saw that with the hype of No Man's Sky. We also saw how the game actually was, an empty game with nothing to do and nothing gripping players to play more. Credit where credit is due. No Man's Sky today is a significantly better game that has a lot more features than it was supposed to have on release. I played it now and genuinely enjoyed it, but it took a long time for that game to deliver. Now in the case of Starfield, while it does promise millions less planets to explore than No Man's Sky, it doesn't mean it is exempt from that feeling of emptiness. 1,000 planets is still a lot. A game like Skyrim, which was one limited world and took place in one region of Tamriel, had a lot to explore and do in every corner. It was full to the brim with content that allowed people to put in hundreds and hundreds of hours without getting bored. And the modding community only improved that as well as Bethesda with a new release of DLCs over the years. So if a game like that was so filled with content yet was much smaller in scale, what does that mean for Starfield? To a lot of people, it means that it's going to be planets filled with empty space and similarities to one another, making exploration feel repetitive or uninteresting. And with most of the planets being procedurally generated, it's not uncommon that you may find it hard to differentiate between different locations, but that's not where it ends. Planets will be mixed between procedurally generated landscapes and handcrafted locations. I don't know how much of one another we're going to notice, but if you're not doing the Skyrim trend of trying to climb every mountain just because, then you may find a better mapped out area with a more coherent layout. So it makes perfect sense that people are worried about this game. The next issue is performance. While in the past PC was praised for being more powerful than consoles, allowing for better performance when gaming, PC master race, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. At least the better performance aspect of it. There has been a trend for some time of games having awful optimization on PC at launch. We saw this with many games over the years, but one of the most recent cases was with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. They seem to completely neglect it. And in the case of Jedi Survivor, EA outright blamed people's PCs for having issues, instead of acknowledging their errors. In the case of Bethesda, Elder Scrolls games were known to have its fair share of bugs and glitches, but none of them made the game outright unplayable. And I should know because I played Skyrim on PS3. Instead, the bugs and glitches were kept in and remembered, as some of them were a lot of fun, while other glitches allowed players to exploit the game in many ways. One I remember clearly were ways to get under the map in Whiterun, allowing you to steal money and items from a chest that was located by the blacksmith. Starfield, being a current gen game, means it has a lot to live up to, which also means it may have a lot that goes wrong. From game-breaking bugs that plague games like Cyberpunk at launch to poor performance like Jedi Survivor, it wouldn't be surprising if we had Starfield be another title that launches with mostly negative reviews. But now let's focus on the positives. Elder Scrolls, Morrowind to Skyrim are massive titles in the history of gaming. If you went back and played Morrowind and Oblivion especially, you wouldn't be able to tell now, but those games push boundaries of what was possible at the time. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but I'm not completely wrong. Skyrim alone is a game that so many people play even today since its launch around a decade ago. And many of those people, much like myself, bought into it every time Bethesda re-released it. It's clear to tell that Bethesda and Todd Howard are passionate with their games, and they put a lot of effort into making sure it's something different or something that can entertain you for not only hundreds of hours but tens of years. Todd Howard knows this. They know they can't release an RPG game that has no passion put into it. They know what it takes to make an incredible game, with a lot of replay value and many adventurous experiences. They know how to craft games that stick with you throughout years of your life, and we can see this by how long it's been since we even saw a glimpse of Elder Scrolls 6. It's clear they take the time to make sure that these games deliver, and so if Starfield releases, it may be one of those games that captivate you in a way other games don't. If it is released with a few hiccups on launch, emphasis on a few, that could be fixed easily, that would be easily forgiven, assuming the game itself is what we know Bethesda is capable of. And they are known to wait for the technology to be at a place that they can achieve what they want to achieve with it. So I have a feeling that if it releases with issues, it's not going to be to the caliber of Jedi Survivor or Cyberpunk. And the reason is simple. I trust Bethesda, a studio that's so supportive of its modding community and what they did with their games, and a studio that's always so passionate with their titles, even if they have their ups and downs here and there, because let's be honest, nobody's perfect. I always admired Bethesda ever since I was a kid, and will always have hope and belief in them if they say they have a new passion project coming up. So with that, all I can say is let's wait and see. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you, and subscribe and hit that like if you enjoy the video. For now, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.